In this discussion, we're going to talk about how to give peace and joy. I do have another video out called How to Receive Peace and Joy. If you have not considered that, I encourage you to do so, as it talks about how we can prepare our being to receive peace and joy. But in this discussion, I would like to talk about how do we actually encourage others to give them peace and joy in this chaotic world. One of the first characteristics that we want to exude in our inner being is empathy. I can remember watching Dr. Ramani, and she was discussing, of course, narcissism is what she's an expert in. And they asked her, what can the world use a lot more of? And she explained empathy, because this is a very important characteristic to have that can help us in many areas of our lives. Take, for instance, if you're in an intimate relationship, or even just other relationships that involve trying to be empathetic with another person. Maybe they lost a loved one. Maybe they're going through a bad breakup. Maybe a financial hardship has struck them. And they call to you because you are a person that can listen and a person that can express kindness and compassion. And so empathy is going to be one important characteristic to be able to set up the platform to give others peace and joy. But what necessarily is empathy? Well, empathy is trying to set aside your opinions, your personal thoughts, and even some of your perspective to understand what the person is going through. If we lack the personal skill of listening, and listening with the intention to help and not just trying to fix the problem for the person, this can go a long way, because we are now instilling encouragement, peace, and joy into the other person. Sometimes in a conversation that we are having with another person that is going through a difficult time would only require us to listen. And I know that sometimes we are wanting to help the other person, and we are feeling for them, and we feel empathetic towards them, and we're trying to get them out of a situation. Sometimes certain difficulties only require that we give our ear, because maybe that person is carrying a lot of baggage. Maybe that person is carrying a lot of emotional hurt. Maybe they have gone through a certain trauma. Whatever the case may be, sometimes we just need to be calm. We just need to be patient and just sit there and listen to the person, because they want to vent sometimes. They want to relieve whatever has been a weight on their shoulders and a burden to their life. And so we come in and we are there to listen and help them through that difficult time. So far, what we have seen are empathy and a good listening skill. Now, these are two very powerful characteristics, because once again, if we understand what empathy is, it's not just listening. It's not just giving our input and what we think about the situation. Empathy truly is a characteristic that we must take time to master over time if we want to instill peace and joy into others. And of course, a listening skill is highly important in order to instill encouragement. Now that we understand a couple of characteristics, I want to elaborate a little bit more on this particular point in how to give others peace and joy. And that is that we must be the light for them. We are light, we are joy, we are peace, and all these positive characteristics that we show in our life every day, whether that is with our intimate partner, we are loving them in a way unconditionally, and we are being patient with our partner. Maybe we have a friend that is going through something. We reserve judgment of the situation, and we utilize wisdom in order to instill peace and joy. We are the light. Maybe someone in our family close to us is going through a difficult time, we are the light for them by being peace and joy. You know, that's why they say when a person is in a bad mood, it puts you in a bad mood if we are not spiritually aware or spiritually skilled. If we come across a person that is having a bad day, we come across a person that is rude to us in the grocery store, we come across people every day in traffic cutting us off if we drive or if we commute to and from work or other errands that we do. We are surrounded by all this negativity day in and day out and being bombarded with negativity. And so that's why we must be the example. We must be the light. And we know that old saying that we are the light of the world. And this is important if we want to be able to understand how to instill peace and joy into others. And as we continue to establish the point of being the light, what exactly does that mean further? Well, light is consciousness. It is separate from the ego. So when we go into a situation and we are trying to instill or inspire confidence and peace and joy into another, we want to first understand that we're going to operate from that place of consciousness, which is light. It is not the ego. It is not our opinion. It is not that perspective that we think is going to work for them. And this is where, of course, wisdom comes in. And wisdom is choosing the best course of action in any given situation. It's knowledge and understanding applied. And through time and practice, we are able to help others with wisdom. So light is not the ego. Light is not the opinion. Light is pureness. Light comes from a place of wholeness, and it is that logic and that reason that we can use to help others. I hope that we were able to establish how to give peace and joy unto others by exuding empathy, by having a good listening skill, and also, most importantly, by being the light for others in this chaotic world. If you like discussions like this, subscribe to Survivoneers as we continue this spiritual journey together.